In 1972, Brazilian folk psych trio Karma released their singular self-titled album on RCA Victor, and from it, the track
Você Pode Ir Além,
which translates to You Can Go Beyond. Hear that kind of stinging, ringing guitar? 2 tracks, yeah. Okay, kind of like an acoustic sound coming from my right speaker, and more of like a buzzing tone coming out of the left. Okay, it should be noted that the person responsible for string and brass arrangements on this album is none other than Arthur Verocai, who I've covered on this. I've done 2 segments on now, as recently as a couple of weeks ago, yeah. This coming out the same year as what would prove to be his only album, his own self-titled album, which would be his only release as a solo artist for like 35 years.
Aqui na Terra é a passagem e você é o personagem.
Once again, those Brazilian harmonies, yeah, with the quaint production quality that just places a certain kind of mattedness to it that just conjures up kind of a misty vibe.
Não perca tempo, leigo amigo, pois você pode ir além daqui.
Oh, that moment where they hit on those like landing syllables. Very thick, fluid bass line, just intercepted with that sumptuous acoustic. Look at that sliding on the bass.
No seu juízo, em frente a tudo, se é preciso, não perca tempo, leigo amigo.
The cover of this, they're depicted in a drawing, like a mosaic, where one is playing what looks like a regular acoustic guitar, maybe like a dobro, or like a steel panel, and then one is playing a triple, I guess electric, and then another one is playing this other kind of, like a 4-string, I guess a banjo, yeah.
Você pode ir além daqui.
Okay, I just checked. Now the credit under this particular track, J. Amiden, Jorg Amiden, plays electric guitar, 2 types, 12-string electric guitar and Tritarra. Well, Tritarra. Okay, I get it. Yeah, and the first thing that comes up is an instrument that looks exactly like what I see depicted in that drawing, yeah. As a matter of fact, bringing that up on Google, I see this one 3-neck guitar. It's got, in the center, it has a 12-string neck. On the bottom, it has a 6-string neck, a regular one. And it's basically like a double neck guitar, 12-string and 6-string, but there's this third piece that's basically like an ukulele, or no, like a mandolin kind of formed out of the body. And with a shorter neck, of course, yeah. And its own separate holes. Yeah. And so that may explain the different kinds of sounds we're hearing, because, like, depending on which neck he's using. Oh, and Alan Terra plays double bass on that track, so that kind of explains that sound. I didn't really. He's playing double bass kind of more like you would play in a folk rock song, except it's got this slide on it that is rare for, and it doesn't sound like a fretless electric either.
Pelas aparências, esconde bem as consequências. Não perca tempo, leigo amigo, pois você pode ir além daqui.
Oh, that note right there, where they all just that final syllable of the verse. Let's catch up with the lyrics. Here's the translation. According to taken from prosemusic.com. Here on earth is the passage, and you are the character. Do not waste time even with friends, because you can go beyond from here. You are defendant of judgment. Face it all if you have to. Do not waste time even with friends, because you can go beyond from here. Don't judge by appearances. Study the consequences well. Do not waste time even with friends, because you can go beyond from here. It's basically a message song about making the most out of life. Yeah, and that even idle time with I don't know, people that you care about or care about no. Well, let's just say wasted time with people you care about, or with people that you like, can still be wasted. That could easily be misinterpreted. Whether that's completely accurate, do not waste time even with friends. I can see some people being rubbed the wrong way with that line, but I guess that there's a point to be made that maybe if you're just spending like an afternoon just making idle chit chat with people, no matter how, with good friends of yours, no matter how much you like these people and you go along, maybe you should be looking at the clock and thinking, you're checking your watch and thinking, how much have I really gotten accomplished today? How much of substance of like long-term consequence have I? And then think maybe it's time to wrap it up and put like a limit on how much time you spend on the phone just chatting and sharing, exchanging laundry lists and stuff with people, and yeah. Oh, that's some really good interplay right there between the stand-up bass and the I guess the one of the necks on the Tritarra. Oh, and I should also note that the third guy, Louise Jr., he plays acoustic, a regular acoustic guitar, yeah. And they all sing. Okay, yeah, I hear the acoustic guitar, the regular one, kind of doing some brisk, crisp, but low in the mix, strumming in my right speaker, while the Tritarra is really just kind of ringing loud and clear from the left. I guess the drumming on this track, it could be done by Bill. Bill's credited with just Bill 48, according to this guy, or Gustavo. Yeah, because this is Gustavo Barros. They don't credit that on this particular track. Yeah. Okay, the guy who's playing Tritarra, he played on one of the Oturco albums. He was part of Oturco before this. Yeah, early Oturco. I'm not really familiar with that early stuff by them yet. I know their mid-70s period, when they kind of went in a symphonic rock direction, but they were, I think they were originally kind of like maybe a Brazilian beat act. Yeah, and he was on like their first album, circa 1970.
Você pode ir além daqui, pois você pode
quite an ingratiating little track there. This the Tritarra player. Once again, George Amiden. He is the only one of these three guys who seems to have any recording legacy outside of this album, this one album that Karma did. He later turned up in another group called Rupa Nova. Yeah, put out some albums in the early 80s. Anyway, let's hear another track from this album, Transe Uma. Okay, already this is reminding me of one of the instrumentals off the Arthur Verocai album, so I'm hearing some of that influence here. Yeah, I think this kind of reminds me somewhat of Karina, perhaps in just like the energy level. Such a unique use of bass. I mean, taking a stand-up bass and playing it like a rock bass. They must be like amplifying it somehow or something. It's just so unique. To basically have the sound, have that kind of just that rhythmic thrust of like an electric rock bass, and yet have the tonal fluidity of a stand-up bass. Oh, and once again, hear that? Yeah, and once again, Tritarra appears on this track. Yeah, it's this all the same instruments as the last track, and on this time it does say drums by Gustavo, so I believe that's who we were hearing on the last track as well, as the fourth wheel in the band. Basically B flat, C, D, C sharp, dun, yeah. So basically going up those three notes and then dropping to F. Just the scaly sound, the filigree, that. The way it just kind of like echoes. Great change of cadence right in this section here with the drumming, like I think withholding a beat somewhere. The way that Tritarra, I guess like it's like the 12 string on the Tritarra, the way they're panning it from left to right and back. I don't think I've heard that sound anywhere else. There must be some kind of effects going on, like some pedal being used, and then through like an echo pedal or something. And did you hear that other sound that just came in? He switched necks. I swear I'm hearing 3 different guitar layers now. I'm hearing the basic in the right speaker. I'm hearing that kind of echoey, filigree sound that I've been hearing, and then I've been hearing another effect. Let's see, who else do we have working on this? Let's see, arranged by George Amiden, vocals, bass. I think, Arthur Verocai may be adding some kind of element here. Strings and I don't hear any brass, of course, but strings. That echoey, shimmery sound just working back and forth. I hear that's just like shimmering, like up, down, high. Real brisk tempo too, like really energetic, lively, the whole number. And that's what it sounds like when everything drops out. Yeah, just that shimmery, echoey sound. Yeah, mysterious. Yeah, that was Transe Uma by Karma, and before that, Você Pode Ir Além.
Você pode ir além.
Okay, yeah, you can go beyond, as it translates. Yeah, from the self-titled 1972 release by the folk psych trio Karma. Yeah, one of Brazil's finest releases of the year. In a year where, the Brazilian, where the influences of like global jazz rock were and folk rock, folk psych were really just inspiring a lot more younger performers from that nation that were putting out albums that really, were meriting attention on a global scale. For more rubies and sapphires from the Karma album, see the directory of albums by Brazilian artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we just heard. The instrumentation, the harmonic elements, the collision of notes and sounds, that Tritarra sound, the technique of the bass, yeah. And the lyrics to the first track, and just the overall vibe and feel of both tracks. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.